That's right, y'all. We're gonna do that for Kalindi. One day we all will go back to the essence, you know? Okay, about to get started in a second. I'll be with y'all in 1 second, just vibe out to this music. All right. All right. Wonderful people of planet Earth. This is Brother Dooley, aka the Beantown Ghetto Shaman. I want to do some things with y'all today. Hope everyone's doing wonderful. I'm just looking for some joint to rock to in the background. We was listening to Brother Sun Ra. Sun Ra has always been one of my great jazz artists, one of my top 10 jazz artists, you know what I mean? And the brother believed that he was from another planet, you know? He said he was from Saturn. And if you look at some of Sun Ra's old interviews, you'll see that he says a lot in his interviews, like things like, these humans here are something else. just different things. So he was a very interesting artist, and he was one of many different artists that we had on this planet that were using music as a tool to awaken people, to awaken the masses. So I'm grateful to Sun Ra for that. I actually know an elder that told me a story of him once, of healing this woman. She was in the hospital, and he heard about her, his friend being in the hospital, and he played that night when him and his people were playing, they dedicated their jam that night to her. And the woman felt the presence of Sun Ra. She heard this music come into the hospital room, and she literally, gave credit to Sun Ra and his orchestra and healing her. You know what I mean? She felt heard this music come in and did its thing, So there's a lot of champions out there that are doing the work. And doing great things, you know. And usually these are the individuals that you could see a mile away because they think different. They're not like the sheeple. They're not coming along with the same old, you know. And that's why I had to make this video today for my good friend and great teacher, Baba Kalindi, Evie, Ahati, you know. And, you know, for those who don't know that he transitioned, that he's no longer with us in this physical realm, but still with us. He transitioned, he was gone last Friday, you know. So this has been a week now, you know. And the morning, the feeling of dealing with what we've been dealing with on being shocked that this happened, first of all, you know, because I was in complete shock when I heard about it, you know. Um, it's gonna take time for us all to be able to deal with that, you know. So first of all, my condolence and goes out to the Kalindi family, you know. That's first and foremost. I've been, you know, reaching out to yes, yes. Okay, I'll be out there. Talk to your mom. I'm on live right now, okay? Um, I talked to Kalindi's wife, Ayana, and been talking to some of the family members. And yeah, you know, this has been a big blow for the whole community, for the family, everybody, you know. And so this is something else, and I believe totally. First and foremost, what I really think was going on with Baba was not that. Can you go in another room, please? You know, they say it's coronavirus, and he was getting better. You know, but I truthfully believe Baba Kalindi felt like he could serve us better on the other side. Um, and I'm not the only one that felt that same way. You know, some of his family members have said the same thing and stuff, and some of his close students and friends. And I think because we are at a very interesting time in history right now, you know, I think there's a lot of things that are about to go down on a global scale that I think Baba Kalindi felt like he would probably be able to serve us and help us better even on the other side. Who knows? But this is what I'm feeling, you know. You know, I sat back the other day and I said to myself, you know, how much of a genius this man was, you know, Baba Kalindi. The stuff that he has contributed to the world, I don't think people have no clue yet. You know, a lot of us that are into this work, you know, we appreciate and love his work. But the masses out there, you know what I mean? I don't think, you know, even the people that love all his work and the stuff, you know, like I was saying the other day, I feel like his information was so multi-layered. You know what I mean? So, meaning one day you could listen to some of his work, and like for my own self, you know, he would talk a lot of stuff about going deep into the infant particle realm and going deep within ourselves, you know, smaller than atoms and protons and neutrons and all this stuff. And when I was hearing a lot of this information, when I first came across Kalindi, it was like, wow, this stuff is deep. You know, I was trying to wrap my head around some of the things that he was talking about. But I think a lot of these things that he mentions and brings forth to the people, you have to experience yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's direct information, and that's why I feel it's important for people to understand. It's like when we deal with the mystic traditions, you know, these are traditions that deal with direct experience. You know, research is good, reading up on different subjects is good. I think these things just have confirmation for us, but having direct experience, that's the mystic path. And that's what even psychedelics teach us, you know. Like Kalindi, like many other people who are in the psychedelic community, um, it's a threat for the establishment in many ways, but also, you know, just look at the religious system, you know, and see how, you know, the middleman, like Lindy would say, like many others would say, you know, these people are there's no need for them. You know what I mean? When you have your own direct spiritual experience, you know, there's no need to go through any middleman to have a connection with the divine. So I just think all this stuff is very, very, very interesting, man, because um, we're gonna go for a deep paradigm shift, and we all feel it. We all know this is happening. Even all this stuff that's happening with this coronavirus and all this stuff. I mean, if there's any truth, you know, that I got even through some of my studies over the year, like um, I really enjoyed studying up on Buddhism, and Buddhism told me a lot and taught me a lot about impermanence and how things are constantly changing. You know, if there's a truth, that truth would be change. You know, so we know that the world is upside down. You know, it doesn't take a genius to not understand that, to know that we are in a time in a period in history where it's just been crazy, you know. So we know about reading also about the golden ages and ages where we were much more technically advanced, more spiritually advanced, all that, you know. So things are constantly changing, you know, and I think we're at a big change again. And Mama Earth, you know, she got to do her thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we're dealing with corporations that are have no care about the earth, don't have no care about the people or anything. So that had to change, you know. And even if this came out from a place of biological weapon or whatever, no matter which way you want to spin it, you know, from the higher level of looking at all these things, we understand that's a big change and a cleansing going on. Our old world system has to go, you know, and there could be a lot of people that want to stay in that place of fear and paranoia and worry and all those things. And I understand those emotions and those feelings and all those things are real for a lot of people. You know, people are out of work. You know what I mean? Um, you know, all kinds of things. You know what I mean? So I get it. But what I feel is interesting about this whole thing is that we have been given tools. And this is what Baba Kalindi and other masters, master teachers, different elders, enlightened individuals has come to bring forward to us. You know what I mean? And let us know that we have some tools that we could work with. You know what I mean? Let me put some gems on the background here. Um, Sorry if like in the beginning of this video, feeling like not really here. It's kids running back and forth. They throw me off. I'm like, what? Okay, what's going on in there? So I want a time in this video where we could do a chant together and in remembrance of Baba Kalindi and to know that he's still connected with us. And also, I want us to do some breathing work if y'all up for it, you know, because we gotta have some tools. And that's the conversation that I've been having with a lot of people lately surrounding all this, a lot of this stuff that's been happening with a lot of elders that have been transitioning and and leaving this realm, man. You know what I mean? Lila Africa, Credo Mutwa, and a lot of other elders that have been leaving, you know. Um, so we got tools, y'all. You know what I mean? It's not like we don't got any tools for this, and this is what I want people to understand and know. You know what I mean? We're not, you know, they're not gonna leave us in a place where we just totally fucked. You know what I mean? So, for instance, with dealing with this corona stuff, you know what I mean? Me and the family, all of us been talking, the extended Psychonaut family, and we've been sharing ideas and notes along the lines of keeping our people safe. And you know, the whole thing with frog medicine combo, cleaning out your system, using them peptides to do some things that could really help people out. Um, Using Kaleido Silver, which I've been using for years. Uh, Using steaming, you know, steaming as a tool, as a way to open up these your lungs, because they're saying that this is a respiratory type of issue, you know. So we have to utilize the steaming more, you know, do some sweat lodge, you know what I mean? All these different things, you know what I mean? So I just want people to know that there's tools out there first and foremost that they can do, you know, for themselves than just going into a place of just pure, you know, just being in a pure place of pure depression or fear, you know, which is not good for your body anyway. You know what I mean? So what's passed the word on was try to first educate each other on what we could do to help each other out. Qigong has always been a tool for myself personally to be able to help, you know, my own health out, my own immune system. Rape, sacred tobacco medicine that they use a lot in ceremony. Blow that right up your nose. That's sacred snuff medicine from the Amazon. It gets all the mucus out, gets all the phlegm out, so you can breathe better. When you blow that in someone's nose, automatically you could breathe better and stuff. So we have family members, you know, working with Kalindi. You know what I mean? We had people around the block that was helping them out. You know, KT, the arch degree. You know, Inky. You know what I mean? We had Wayne Chandler. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of the medicine that Papa was taking was helping him. You know, so you know, but again, I think, and this is my personal opinion, you know, I could be wrong about this, you know, or it could be dead on. I'm not sure. Maybe other people could look into this and put their insight into it. But I truly, truly believe Baba Kalindi wanted to assist us on the other side, you know. And I know for some people that are maybe very approach life from a very just physical standpoint, that can maybe just be hard to hear, because you know, some people who, for instance, never had a spiritual experience or know that the spirit world really does exist, you know, that could be hard for a person. You know, they say, oh, I ain't gonna never see that person again or whatever. And I get it. My mom just passed away, you know. There's plenty of times of the grieving where I just miss my mom and stuff. But then there's, you know what? There's been plenty of times that her spirit just still comes to me, you know, comes to me in dreams. Comes to me in, she comes to me in a way of telepathic stuff sometimes. She has come to me even doing healings on other people, you know what I mean? I think I told the family out there that one time I was working with this brother who had a stroke, you know, and he a strong dude. He a martial artist, you know, strong brother, and he caught a stroke. And you know, I went to go see him at the rehab center, you know what I mean, to make sure he was doing okay. And um, when I was working with him, I started doing some energy healing work. I started doing energy healing work, and I started using tuning forks, right? And when you're in a trance, or when you're in a place where you're in your higher state of mind, all kinds of gifts come out of you. You know what I mean? Things that you're not even aware that you hold